Hey y'all, Coach in the Fight here. Got a bit of a unique message for you guys. It's something I've been thinking about sharing with you guys here lately. Um, you're looking at Shadow Man. Um, anyway, it's talking about the rapture. I guess I go ahead and jump right into it. Um, I believe, and I hesitate to say this because I know how crazy it sounds. You know what I mean? But I know I'm not crazy. At least I think I'm not. But this experience that I'm about to tell you about is extremely unique. I haven't heard anybody else say anything like this. Um, I've heard some people try to explain what it was, as I've told this story once or twice before, but never in this way. Um, Not like this. Um, Standing out here on the road, so when you hear cars go by, you'll hear me get a little bit nervous because I am actually in the road right now. Anyway, um, I think I've been raptured. I think I've actually been raptured. Now, a lot of people going to immediately go and want to click off because they're like, well, has he been raptured and he's still standing there? Well, give me a chance to hear me out. You know what I mean? You don't know what the rapture is. Nobody really knows what it is. Nobody has actually experienced it. There's a car coming the other way. Oh, should make a move. I'm gonna make a move. I'm gonna stand right here. Thing is, I think he was looking at his phone, and he actually almost ran me over. Almost got raptured again. Oh, this ain't funny. I don't know if I should end it. I'm serious. I thought he was trying to be funny and was right in the weeds. I thought it was somebody I knew that trying to be funny ran in my weeds, but in the weeds on my side of the road. I'm actually standing on his side of the road, but I expected him to cross over and get on the other side of the road, seeing me standing here, and then when I looked at him, he was actually in the weeds on my side of the road. Here comes my dog, too. Enough! And we got a lot going on. My wife's grandmother is not doing too well at all. You pray for her. Her name is Yulene. But I'm going to get on with it. Anyway, I almost just got ran over. Um, and I could hear my wife up there talking about her mom. She seems a little agitated. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get this over with. I think I've been raptured. I think I've actually experienced the rapture. Now there are several definitions to the word rapture. The one you may be thinking about is the modern definition of the word, where people are supernaturally removed from the planet before the tribulation occurs. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm actually talking about is the dictionary definition of the word, where our spirits are evolved to a higher state of awareness. Our spirits are evolved to a higher state of awareness. I believe that has happened to me twice, actually. And let me go ahead and tell you um, the two instances in which I believe they happened. Okay, the first time, I was doing a favor for a friend. A friend needed me to help them to move their car. They had just purchased a car and they needed the car to be towed in. And so, and let me go ahead and cover this thing up. Tell her what I'm worrying about. Okay. All right, so he needed the car to be towed in, and I offered to put the car on my trailer and carry it in. I could have borrowed a trailer and carried the car in like you're supposed to, but him and another guy who is now deceased, recently passed away, it was those two guys who had thought up this idea that we were actually going to use chains, and we were going to haul the car in using a chain. And so that's what we did. We went to the and we chained the cars up, and we were transporting the cars, towing them using my Suburban. We were towing this other vehicle with a chain, and we had to tow this vehicle about 35 miles, I think it was. And as we were towing this vehicle, there's another video that I've posted on this, so you guys can see that other one. It may give some more detail on the story, because it's been a long time, maybe 2, maybe 3 years now. And I was towing the vehicle, and I was afraid at one point I was afraid I was going to lose control of the vehicle. I was driving pretty fast to be towing a vehicle in that manner. I was driving a big hefty Suburban, so it didn't feel like much weight back there at all to me. And so I was doing 35, 40 miles per hour towing this vehicle. But there was at one point when I thought I almost was about to lose control of the vehicle. What I felt like is that I was going to crash. And my friend that I was towing in the back, he was in the back there with the chain. I thought that I was going to kill him. I thought that, I was going to lose control of both of those vehicles, and he was going to end up dead. Maybe both of us was going to end up dead, or I was going to end up hurt. But I was pretty sure that, it was going to be a very, very bad situation, and a life-changing situation, as I'm sitting there having to explain to the police officers how I have now killed this guy in this car. And so, it was, I was very scared. I was very, very, very scared in that instant. It was a short period of time when, I felt like I was losing control of the vehicle, and I started praying. And I asked the Father in my prayers, I asked the Father to take complete control of the situation. I told him I needed him to take control of my body, my hands, the steering wheel, the truck, both trucks, everything. I needed for him to take control right then, because I was afraid that, I was about to die and I was about to kill my friend or whatever. And so it happened. It happened. And in those moments, I felt the strangest thing that I have ever experienced in my life, and the strangest thing that I have ever heard anybody ever try to explain. Now, this has nothing to do with a dream or anything. I was wide awake, and what it felt like was that, okay, it felt like in that moment that something moved inside of me. I felt like something came inside of my body. Not a physical something, it's like a spiritual something came inside of my body. It moved inside of my body. I'm stressing that, because I want that to sink in, that it felt like something moved inside of me. But check this out. Check this out. When this being came inside of me, it's like I could communicate with this being. It's like we were having a communication. It was like we were talking. Like I said, this has happened to me twice. So let me go ahead and mix up both instances, because the second time it was similar, but it was different. But let me for the sake of getting you to understand, let me combine both of those experiences together so that it would make sense. It was like I was communicating with this being that had moved inside of me. This being knew everything about everything. It knew about my family. It knew about my neighbors. It knew, and I mean, it really knew about them. And it showed me these individuals, like the pastor of the church and the assistant pastor of the church, and there's some of the other neighbors that were doing certain things around me at the time. This being, this spiritual being that moved inside of me, showed me who they were and why they were doing this on a spiritual level. It was a revelation as to why all of this stuff was going on. And he He just basically knew everything about everything. In the second instance, that was the first instance where he explained everything to me, all of these people to me. He explained people to me in the first instance. In the second instance, and I know this is a bit confusing because I'm melding them together to make you understand the experience. In the second experience, it wasn't so much as about people, it was about my land. I live on a homestead. And, I don't understand, I didn't grow up on homesteads. I grew up in kind of an urban type environment. And so all of this is new. And so when this being came into me, he communicating again, basically let me know that he understood everything about everything that I was experiencing and everything that was going on with my land. And he was telling me and making me feel like he was here to help me with my land. He knew everything about what was going on with my land, even the future and how things were going to play out with my land. And he was here in order to help me to do it right. He made me feel like everything that was in control. It was only for a brief moment, but in that brief moment, I felt like everything was going to be all right. Everything was in complete control. This individual had showed up, and now everything is going to be all right. That was in the second instance. In the first instance, I had the same feeling. He explained who these people were. These people were giving me trouble. But after he had shown me who they were and why they were doing all of that, it made sense to me and put me in a position where I didn't feel like I had to be concerned about what these people were doing anymore in my life, because everything was going to be perfectly fine. Everything was within the Father's will. Everything was going to be straightened out. But look, now here's where it gets crazy. Here's where it gets crazy. Like I said, this individual came inside of me. It moved inside of me. So you have me here, the individual who is driving the truck, got my hands on the wheel, driving the truck, and this other individual who is just showed up and moved in with me. But the thing is, I felt like the person who moved inside of me was the real me. It felt like that was the real me that had moved in. It's really, really odd to try to explain. It's even odd to think about. It was like I moved into myself. This is why I say a higher state of awareness. Because it was like my spirit man came to life inside of me. This spirit man that has eternal life, that is more angelic than it is human. That's what a spirit means. But I could feel both entities. I could feel the me that I've been with for 40 years, and I could feel the me that had been there for about 40 seconds. But the me that had moved in felt like the real me. It felt like the true me. That's the me that I associated with. The other me that was actually driving the truck and crying out for help and all of this kind of stuff was like another person. It was like I was talking to another person. It was like I was this. I mean, it's crazy. I don't want to use crazy because I'm talking about divine things and I don't like using that word. It was, I'm gonna say, just like the definition says. The first definition, like I said, there's there's at least 3 different definitions of the word rapture, but it was an overwhelming feeling of being caught away in emotion. Overwhelmingly caught away in emotion. I mean, I believe that I have been raptured. I believe, and that's like I said, this has happened 2 times. 2 times that this has happened to me. Both times I was doing something to help somebody out. I was, so that was a charitable deed. Both times I had been reading the word, very intently, very strongly reading the Bible. And both times I was in an hour of need. And both times this being came inside of me. And both times it was an overwhelming, caught away moment in emotion, caught away emotionally, and it was like a spiritual evolution, like my spirit had been evolved into a higher level of awareness both times. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, you guys can jump down there in the comment section and tell me what you think about it. But I'm saying this because I believe this. I believe I've been raptured. I'm back down here with regular people now, and it haven't happened since. But I believe I've had a taste of what it is that we all have coming. I believe I've been shown what the rapture was, what it is. All right, well, I ain't got nothing else to say. Y'all pray for me. Shalom.